I'm Anna, and I live in the Nilgiris. So as long as I can remember, I've always been really interested in anything arty or crafty. And while some women may flutter at the sight of a bouquet of flowers, for me, you give me a hamper of fabric swatches, buttons, needles, and a good pair of scissors. That would be a sure way to win my heart. So knitting and crochet is something that traditionally, people would see old grannies do, or retired people to bide their time, and definitely not something that someone in my generation would just take up, especially in this fast-paced era. So while I've always been interested in different arts and crafts and sewing and and embroidery and painting, lettering, DIYing a lot, I needed to find something that did not require a large workspace or an area, a table or desk, or too many accessories or tools. I'm sure a lot of us here are looking for that one thing that can help us relax and de-stress and unwind. So on this search, I rediscovered my interest in crocheting and knitting, because I had learnt it as a child from my grandmom, but never really was interested in it because, as I said, it was something that took time. And I thought that this was something I could pick up because it did not require a large workspace and having to carry a whole lot of bags or tools with me. I'm self-taught, so there were plenty of step-by-step instructions online and little books or Instagram accounts that I could follow. And I started creating amigurumi toys and doilies and little snuggle toys for babies and for my own babies as well. And it was a good way of using my time to make something useful and something I could use to gift my friends and relatives as well. That's when I came across the Ponycrafstore. Pony is a household name in the needles industry because we live in the Nilgiris, and I never really thought of entering the craft store before. So I did, and wow, it hit a sweet spot with me, and I found gorgeous yarns and the perfect needles, because I had tried some other needles as well and they were just not comfortable, and I think Pony makes the best and most comfortable crochet needles, knitting needles and sewing needles as well. The yarns are beautiful because they're nacco, and they have different varieties of yarns. They have bamboo, wool, and really gorgeous acrylic as well. Baby yarns, soft, really soft yarns, and also non-pilling yarns, which are the best for babies because they put everything in their mouth and you don't want little hairs coming out, fibers coming out. So after that, that was my one-stop shop. I would go there and buy everything I needed. When it comes to knitting and crocheting, choosing the right kind of yarn makes all the difference. You want something that looks good, feels good, and is really, holds well as well. So I did try a whole different array of yarns and colors and thicknesses and weights, and I kept being drawn back to Pony nacco yarns at the Ponycrafstore, and I did find them online as well, and the Pony has an online store, and that was really convenient during these lockdown times. So given with the babies and my friends having babies, my current favorite nacco yarn has to be the Natural Bebe, which is made of bamboo, cotton and acrylic, and I love it because it's soft and it's low pilling and it really holds well. I've washed the caps that I've made for my babies and nothing happened to them. So yeah, this is my current favorite yarn. I do think knitting and crocheting are really fun, not boring but meditative, and something that I would highly recommend to anyone who's looking for something to relax their mind and de-stress them at the end of the day. As a beginner to knitting and crocheting, it really helped me to go into the Ponycrafstore myself and look for what I needed. The assistant there was so helpful in helping me pin down exactly what I needed, because when you're new to this, the number of needles and the gorgeous yarns there, you're like, what do I buy? And she was so helpful. They not just had basic yarns and needles and for sewing, but they also had DIY kits, which was great because my little girl, she wants to get her hands into all of these crafts, and I do really think it's important that children learn to do something with their hands so that they learn to, increase focus and concentration and creativity, because it allows them to slow down, especially in this fast-paced era. Crocheting and knitting is really upcoming these days, with it's actually become quite trendy, and among my peers, among friends and people I follow on social media are using this art to make, not just to make the usual doilies or little things to put on the table or on sofas, but also to make lovely soft toys using the Japanese form of amigurumi. I do know people, and as well as friends, and not just me, who are using crocheting to make useful products and engage with one another in a very meaningful way. My daughter can't wait to start crocheting herself, but I've started just with using the Nanaku yarns and giving her a knitting fork that she can make little wristbands or necklaces for herself, and she's loving the yarns as well. As a hobbyist and a craft enthusiast, I really like this quote by Maya Angelou, which says, "You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have." If you're a young adult looking to pick up a novel passion, I would highly recommend knitting and crocheting with yarns and needles from the Ponycrafstore.